Alice straightened her slumping shoulders and, after a few more steps into the darkness, stood still and raised her hands, uttering a two-word command. "Come here." She said these words with authority, not giving the bad-feeling entities a chance to latch onto her fear. She had the ability to make them do what she wanted, and that's all she was going to concentrate on. Hissing and screaming were the answers for her action. There was also a loud scraping noise, as if something heavy were being dragged along a stony surface. The things that only had substance in this place were approaching as they were told and fighting it every step of the way. "Be quiet, and come here," she said again quietly, refusing to raise her voice above the spirit's dramatic sound effects. The voices in the back of her head kept saying, "You can do it, you are a keeper. They must obey you." As if to confirm what she was beginning to realize was true, she saw at least 10 of the shadowy forms reluctantly dragging themselves to the edge of her light. The blue-black swimming forms were highlighted by her brightness, and she felt anger radiating from them as they were forced to follow her direction. "Whatever you are doing to interfere with my connection to Randall, you will stop it right now." Alice tried not to let the many several sets of yellow eyes glaring at her throw her in the least bit. The shifting shadows wavered at the edge of her light, swirling around and around until they merged into a very large form that hovered above her in one last attempt to intimidate the keeper that they had no choice but to obey. Going with the voices inside her head, she chose to call her instincts. She raised her arm, shining a light directly at the swirling black cloud, forcing it to break apart. The thin black puffs of evil feelings and thoughts flew around Alice as she stood her ground and spoke softly again. "I command you to stop and tell me how you're keeping me from connecting with Randall." One of the "it's" stopped moving and hung directly in front of Alice. A soft childlike voice came to her from inside the cloud. It sounded like the voice attached to the first entity she had encountered days before. "We are not keeping you from talking to that boy." The last word, referring to Randall, was spoken with contempt, spit from its lips as she made it stay put and talk to her. Well, not us exactly. It giggled like it were telling a very funny joke, amused with itself for only telling her part of what she needed to know. The laughter was cut off abruptly when she aimed a ray of light at the thing across from her. Shrieking, mumbling and grumbling came after as she compelled it to continue speaking. "It is the ones that took the bodies," the thing said reluctantly, spitting and hissing at her through a half-formed mouth visible through the blackness as a red and brown tangle of tissue. It was powerless to resist answering her, but that didn't mean it wasn't going to try and mislead her if it could. So it paused, over and over again, trying to keep the truth from slipping through its lips, trying to find another way to avoid giving her what she wanted. Yellow eyes flashed at her at random intervals as the shadows struggled to become solid, fizzling out again when they failed to do so.